Hello everybody, I thought it was about time to do a workshop tour. In here we have got a 10 by 5 beautiful space to work with, and I'd love to show you around. Okay, so we begin this workshop tour. We'll skip this area because it's a bit minging. The router table. This is a UJK cast iron router table, professional, full size. They do these in compact, they do them in laminated tops, but I just thought I'd go for the one that's definitely going to last the longest. I've got a few of the extra accessories on it as well, like fine fence adjusters and the NVR box and other such things. But yeah, that is my router table. Absolutely love it, really recommend it. And then of course we've got the router bit cabinet just above it. This was the most recent project I've made and I absolutely love it, particularly the OSB accents at the bottom. So in here we've got space for 1/4 inch cutters and 1/2 inch cutters, as well as extra accessories for the router table that don't look too nice, but the OSB covers it, so it's ideal really. So that's mounted on the wall with a French cleat. The link to that video, or the link to that series, is in the description and also in the top corner. So that's the router table, and you'll see as we go along this wall, this is where I keep most of my wood machining machines, and they're all linked up to a dust extraction system with blast gates going up to a 4-inch pipe going right the way to my dust extractor. Then we move on to the bandsaw. This is the Axminster SBW 4300, I believe. It's an older machine. It has since been updated by a newer model, but I absolutely love this thing. I've been maxing it out. I've maxed it out plenty of times now, and it's coped perfectly fine. Get a decent blade on it. I usually use a 3/4 inch by 3 TPI, and it just tears through material. So that's a really good machine. So yeah, that's a great machine. Also got things mounted nearby, such as the UJK professional mitre fence and all that. Keep everything nice and to hand, so I can make things as efficient as possible, especially when moving the camera around and things. It's all about streamlining. Okay, and then moving on from the bandsaw, we have got the sticker wall, which I started at Makers Central. And so yeah, anyway, as I was saying, I started this at Makers Central. It's a little bit diabolical. I need more stickers to attach to it. So if you have any stickers, please let me know. I'd love to actually get this thing filled up because it's a little bit sad at the moment, to be honest. So then we will continue on. Planer thicknesser. This is again from Axminster. So it's a combo machine, planer on top, thicknesser underneath. You guys have seen me do it plenty of times. You've got to convert it round. It takes about 20 seconds or so. Great machine. I will be doing a review of this at some point in the future. Again, attached to the dust extraction system. If we look on the other side, we've got the power tool workbench, so we'll kind of address this later, but we've got some nice drawers here and everything like that, and they don't go out far enough to hit the planer. Got random things in here. Sander is particularly useful for this because then you can easily get it from the workbench, or if you need to do a larger panel, it's all accessible in there. With the sanding pads, and obviously the vacuum and stuff is all stuffed in there as well. So if you want to know a little bit more about this bench, there is a link to the video in the description as well as the series. So that's the power tool workbench, and then we start moving on to the actual set. So up above us, I attached this beam that's got my 2 LED lights, so we've got some nice 3-point lighting going on. So this is the Roubo workbench. This was my most popular project on YouTube to date, and it is my absolute pride of joy. She's called Bertha, and yeah, definitely not as pretty as when I first made it, but it's definitely my favorite project I've ever done to date. So again, link to that is in the description if you are interested. We move around then to the clamp rack. So as you can see, I primarily use parallel jaw clamps. I just think they're so versatile, easy to use, and very lightweight as well when you get the light duty ones I've got here. Obviously Bessie are the company that are kind of famous for making these high quality clamps, but these Axminster ones are like half the price and they work just as well. In fact, if not better, because these have cranked handles on them, which I find very, very useful. And then down here, I've just got some Veritas frame clamps, which I bought because I felt like I wanted them, and I haven't actually used them at this point, to be honest. So we've got those, and we move around. The ruler wall, the measuring wall, the saw wall, the winding stick wall, avec spirit levels and things, like basically anything long I just sort of hang from here because it looks pretty cool. Toolbox, so this has been with me pretty much since I started filming videos actually. All of my hand tools are in here, chisels, saws, measuring tools, shaping things such as the spoke shave, rasp, microplane, drill bits, calipers, machine-based things, planes, and then miscellaneous, the man drawer, basically, where I just chuck any random things that I can't be asked to file away, like leather, hinge jigs, a tape measure from Wilco, like just random things that should really be in a skip, but for some reason they've survived this long. And then on the top of here, this is a toolbox that I made as a demonstration at Axminster in Basingstoke. I did this for a few weeks and is essentially my travelling toolbox. I'll let you have a look at it. Oh wait, I think there's some secretive things in here. Oh, we might have to do a censored, like a blurry bit. Oh, I've locked it. Oh, there is. Oh, let's put that back. Oh, but in the bottom of it, this is where I store my shooting plane, which I'm still yet to make a shooting board for. But yeah, that's my travelling tool chest. So if you ever see me at a show or things like that, then this is what will be on my bench with me without the sensitive material in there. And then we move on to these lovely glass cabinets that I've got either side of my set. These are from, I think, Axminster in Warrington. They gave them to me for some reason, and I absolutely love them. In here, I've got things like the joints that I did in my early tutorial videos, such as a dovetail halving joint, half lap joint, angled dovetail, bridle joint, as well as it's like interlaced with bits of veneer, some like carbon fiber box that I started and never actually finished, as well as a nice little box down there that I started and never actually finished. Yeah, various bits in there. And then moving across the shelves, all these little books are like books that I've actually previously recommended in another video. So a lot of you ask what books would I recommend. There's a video on that, links in the description, and I'll put that one in the top corner as well. As we move on, a few past projects that I've done. Little wooden knot thing, little puzzle, which is quite fun. This is a vase that's actually made out of pine that I gilded in copper leaf and then put a chemical on that to turn it like this cool orangey, purpley colour. Backgammon board, which was my level 3 City and Guilds project. So this is actually something that I was teaching students how to make earlier this year. So yeah, I don't know why I was given that title because this thing's absolutely rubbish, but there we go. So we got that thing. What else we got up here? I feel like everyone asks me what's on these shelves behind me and I never actually answer the question, so I'm going to be quite thorough here. Mock-up joint of the joints in the workbench. If you look down here, you see this thing going on? Yeah. Right, and then we move on. This was an elm bowl that I made for Turning Tuesday, or yeah, about 3/4 of an elm bowl before the other half fell off. My first exploding bowl on the lathe. I'm very proud to have achieved that. And then we've got this frame thing. I wrote an article for Furniture and Cabinet Making on how to make this. It's basically a practice frame to practice laying out, marking, cutting of joints. And yeah, it's just a good little practice thing. And then, yeah, did a video on it as well. So we got that. Okay, and then I've got things like various sketchbooks. So like this was my sketchbook for this Roubo workbench, actually, funny enough. Like, whoop! In here are like all my drawings and stuff and like early versions of the bench. So like if I go back here, this is working out all the mechanisms and things. It's pretty cool to keep hold of this. So I've got that book, and then I've got like another one back here. I won't show you inside it, but that one is the sketchbook for my Krenov cabinet that I made. And then that one is a sketchbook for something else. Like, I bound all these myself. It's quite a nice little thing to do on the side, very easy. So yeah, furniture and cabinet making things, just various catalogues up there. This thing, a lot of people have asked me about this. You recognise this?
I do. You ruined it.
What?
You ruined it.
How?
You had this really nice pine curved edge.
Yeah.
You were sanding, but it looked so smooth, it looked really cool. And it just veneered it.
It's nice. I like it. This thing was my GCSE resistant materials, basically design and technology, final piece, and it's what got me started with this. Isn't that pretty cool?
What was it meant to be?
A radio.
Does it play music?
No.
So you made a curved block of wood with a plastic spinny thing.
Yeah, that's the volume, or the tuner. It's whatever you want it to be. It's up to your imagination, Rob.
Oh, I see. This is my fault.
And then, even better, this on top is the area where you dock your phone. Yeah?
I forgot about that.
Yeah, look how dusty that is, with engraved music things in it as well. So yeah, that's what that is. We won't talk too much more about that before Rob starts abusing me again. Tea light that I made, it's quite cute. Little snowman, this was sent to me, and it's like a little model of my bass guitar attached to it, although he stuck it on upside down. Yeah. Samples for my experimental wood finishes series. This is 2 bits of ash that I scorched and then finished with crayons and liming wax by melting them together. These things, ambient lights that I never turn on. Fake plants from Lidl, from IKEA because I can't look after living things. Mallet head, little Festal Sustainer Toolbox, which is lovely for business cards and things like that. Jesus pen. Loads of people ask me, do I still have this? Yes, I still have this. It's just ran out of ink. This was the most famous tool. This is literally what I'm known for, funnily enough. Jesus pens, but I've also moved on to a unicorn pen now. This was sent to me by someone else, and I love it. So yeah, I use that for marking out my joints and things like that. Even though you should use a pencil for it ideally, and it's really difficult to remove pen marks, how can you resist? You can't. Mallet, big, huge mortise chisel. Again, someone sent me this, no name on it. I don't know who it's from. I just got it in the post one day. Yeah, like you could kill vampires with that thing. And then these 2 little boxes, more goods in there that you're not allowed to see. So, well, anyway, I can show you it. African blackwood box with a spalted beech top on it. This bit of spalted beech I actually found in the woods while walking the dogs. I spotted it about a year before actually picking it up, and I was eyeing it up every single time I was walking them. Eventually went past one day, lobbed it on the shoulder, back of the car, split it with an axe, planed it down, and then it's in the top of the box, which I think is pretty cool. And then just a little Bibinga box that I made in a day, filled with dowels. Much more to say about that. And then my radio, which doesn't really get a whole lot of use because when you're filming, you can't exactly listen to music, which is a shame. Cool. Yeah, I really should. You were right about that duster earlier, weren't you?
Yeah, it's dreadful.
That's really bad.
Question.
Yeah.
Does that radio work?
Yeah.
Oh.
What do you mean?
No, I'm just comparing it against this one.
I see what you're saying. Yes, that one does work. Rob, let's move on. Sharpening Station. Tormek fitted with a diamond wheel. This is the coarse one because most of the time when I'm using the Tormek, I am just regrinding. I'm here to get the job done. I'm not going for like finished surfaces or things like that. Unless I bring like a kitchen knife in or something like that, then I swap it back to the original grindstone. Finish it up on the leather strop, and it is lovely. A few pastes and things behind here. Those of you asking about my sharpening setup, I use Waterstones at the moment, so I've got a double-sided one here. They're all right. They're quite messy though. I'm thinking of going to something like diamond stones or even scary sharp at some point in the future, just because like getting these out every time and then like flattening them and just you get it all on your hands and things. Yeah, it's, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Moving on, another glass cabinet, more joints and stuff in there. And then this is Consumable Corner. It's quite nice sound in here, isn't it?
It's so dark, but yes, yeah. It does sound very nice.
Thank you, thank you. So in Consumable Corner, we have got many consumables such as finishes, we've got glues, we've got hardware and things like that. Of course, it has always been this organised. I didn't actually organise this, I definitely didn't organise this an hour ago. But yeah, that's what's on that side. Here, I've got my screws and the magnetic base for the light that I was looking for. Thank you. Chargers for drills, camera batteries, more batteries, scales for finishes and things like that, and just, yeah, Consumable Corner. Oh, and some crayons as well for when I want to draw pictures, things, and yeah. So then we move on from Consumable Corner to Craft Corner. It's just a random name that I've just thought of. I quite like that actually. It's quite cute. Anyway. Got a little wood turning lathe going on here. This is an Axminster Trade AT1416. I believe that has also been superseded by a newer model now. Lovely size. I mean, actually every now and then I do wish I had something bigger, but for now, while I'm learning, it does everything that I need to. So I'm very happy with that. And then an Axminster disc sander, 300 millimeters in diameter, and is good for all the things that I need to sand the end grain square on. Yeah, lots of people are asking about this area.
They're not going to get any answers, are they?
No. Sandpaper rack though. Nice sandpaper rack. How about that?
Who made that?
That was me that made that.
Oh,
yeah. You wouldn't expect it, would you?
No.
I made this sandpaper rack. There is also a series to building that. Link is in the description if you are interested. Calipers hanging up there, and then I've got the Crown Cryo wood turning tools. Yeah, I really like them. They hold their edges for long, but to be honest, because I'm a bit of a newbie when it comes to wood turning, I pretty much just bought them because they look cool. Yeah, I really like them. Calipers hanging up along there. And then underneath, I've just got like various wood turning stuff stored in there, as well as a extractor that is linked to both the disc sander and then on a flexible arm, which is absolutely rubbish. Doesn't hold any form, well, apart from in the direction that you don't want it to actually hold. Yeah, there's that thing which is meant to capture all the sanding dust and things, but see, it just dances around. Compressor down there, linked up to an air gun, which is useful for all sorts of things. I can pretty much reach any part of the workshop with that. And then, yeah, that is Craft Corner. Okay, and then we move on from Craft Corner to sort of like the more machine-based. Oh! Need to think of a better way of fixing this to the wall. That thing always falls down. See with the other ones I've hung them up, but this big 3 meter one always topples down.
How have you not attached that yet?
I don't know, it's just, you see how springy that is? It's just, yeah, it's an accident waiting to happen, isn't it?
Well, it did happen.
Yeah, well, it did happen, didn't it? Yeah, watch out, kids. Anyway, let's continue with the tour, shall we? So, next we move on to the Axminster drill press. This is the biggest of the trade versions, and yeah, like, it's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. The huge table on it is lovely to work on, and little trick, I'm not recommending this, by the way, it's just a little trick that I've done. You put a heater under it, and then when that heats up, it gets the table hot, and then you've got 2 radiators for the price of 1. Yeah. And then we move on to the newly made metalworking area. So on here I've got a huge engineer's vise, which is lovely. Arbor press, which I'm using to assemble pen blanks and other such things that need pressing. Big old granite slab, which, like, I've got plans at some point to make my own planes and things like that, and I obviously need a flattening surface to flatten the soles on them. So I bought this, yeah, as insurance for the future for when I need it. Like, I definitely don't need it at this point, but it looks pretty cool. Big old plate shear there for cutting things, small thin bits of metal in half. files on the wall, cobalt, I can't remember what the actual, is it cobalt?
Yeah, I go for cobalt.
Cobalt drills for all the metal, and then various things up here. Metalworking goodies, as well as the old blowtorch as well. I was going to turn it on, but there's no point. Okay, and then underneath the metalworking station, we have got this little jobby. Those of you that watched my workshop move series will recognize this perhaps. This is the old heater that used to be in here. Beautiful piece, like it just looked amazing, but it was just in the most inconvenient place. So I've disassembled it, and I have plans to do something with it in the future, but I don't really know what. I'm thinking like coffee table or something like that with a glass top, but if you've got any better suggestions, drop them in the comments below. And then we move back to some proper equipment. So this is my milling machine. This is the Axminster SX3, and it has got a digital readout on it as well. This is something that I'm not too familiar with at the moment, so I can't really give a detailed overview, but yeah, like I'm absolutely loving learning the metalworking stuff at the moment and just experimenting, and it's really satisfying working in a different medium. I've talked about this enough in other videos, but that's my milling machine. Got a cabinet below with a nice old drawer for storing various little bits. So that's really cool. And then we have got the metalworking lathe as well, which is the SC4 by Axminster as well. Again, love it, really good size. Yeah, so far it's done everything that I need it to do. I want to stand every time.
That was so close to going horribly wrong.
Anyway, yeah, and then like I've got my metal storage and stuff here, so I've got this big old bit of cast iron. I don't know, like I've bought a lot of wood in my lifetime, but owning a big old bit of metal like this, cast iron, there's something pretty cool about that. I don't know.
How much does that weigh?
Oh, look.
Oh my god.
So yeah, we got that. And then like, this is what I was thinking about making my plane out of, bit of brass, and then I think that's stainless, and got bits of bronze and stuff behind there as well. I'm literally just tinkering at the moment, having a play around, and yeah, as I said, I'm loving it. Wood storage. So wood, panel things, OSB, MDF, any sheet goods and stuff, I put them there so then I can easily slide them sideways and then into the workshop. And then bits of wood, I just sort of lift them up and out of there, so it's quite easy storage. I'd like to have some sort of rack system, but as you've seen, I've made pretty efficient use of this space and I haven't really got a lot of room for it. A lot of people are asking, what is that wood up there? That's Bubinga. Obviously quite difficult to get, or it's going to be quite difficult to get in the UK soon because it's now on the CITES list of endangered species, so difficult to import. There was some of it going at Rycote Wood. They were trying to get rid of it because no one's using it, so I thought, I'll have it. So don't know what I'm going to use it for. Again, any good suggestions, let me know. And then of course, the miter saw. This is the Bosch GCM 12 GDL, which is the glide miter saw. So it's got this huge articulating arm on the back, ideally on a more stable base than this. But yeah, this means that it can go right up against a wall. Obviously, I'm not making the most of that feature, but having that arm means that you haven't got the sliding bars or anything out the back. It's got a huge reach on it, and this is one of the many reasons why I don't really need a table saw in this workshop. I'm not going to talk about the reasons why now because that is a big subject, but I have actually done a write-up about it on my website, so I'll put a link to that in the description as well. There's going to be a lot of blue in this description, isn't there? Yeah, that's pretty much about it. Power tool workbench in the middle. Along the top there, as you saw, the extractor is up there. I've got an air filter in the middle. Loads of people ask me why I've got a microwave up there. Like, what do you think? I use it to cook my food. I eat. I don't just eat Velveeta. So I know when you're looking at things on videos and like just spaces that you're familiar with, but you're not quite sure where things are in relation to one another. I've had a few people come into the workshop and they've been like, oh, I thought that thing was over there and that thing was like back here. So what we're going to do, we'll do a quick walk around again, like very quick, and you'll see where everything is in relation to each other. And then when you watch my videos in the future, you'll know exactly where I'm working. So we'll start going this way again. We began with the router table, the bandsaw, and the planer thicknesser just over here. So this is the machine wall, and then we go around here. This is where the set is. So we've got the lovely beam here with the lights and the background and consumable corner over there. The craft area to the left-hand side, and then we continue on round. Pillar drill, guide rails, metalworking area, more metalworking, wood, choppy wood thing. That's the workshop. Nice and simple, 10 by 4 meters. It's a really good space. I absolutely love it. So there we go. That is the workshop tour. As always, thank you very much for watching. If you liked the video, don't forget to press the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Well, guess we're going home then. See you in the next video.